commanding officer, he was more than ready for active duty. Prove to him it'd be wrong to sideline him because of a knock on the head. Idiotic medical bullshit. The cool water brushing past him did nothing to quiet his mind. This final week of mandatory recovery could have been relaxing, but already on edge, his beach companions were driving him to the brink. At 34, what had once been sexy seemed sleazy. Bold and assertive felt more like desperate and aggressive. He liked sex. He didn't like being mauled. Matt continued moving parallel to the shore, catching glimpses of colorful umbrellas and the 6 towering condos that made up the resort. He preferred the water, but running back under the midday sun would likely burn off more steam than swimming. As he approached the shore, a small football landed off to his right with a splash, and he glanced around for the thrower. No one was anywhere near him in the ocean, but a little boy stood at the water's edge, watching him. Matt squinted against the reflecting sun and waded onto the beach, Nerf ball in hand. "Here you go." The boy looked to be around 5 or so and stared silently up at Matt as he took his ball. Deed done, Matt turned to go. He hadn't taken 2 steps before something wet hit his shoulder. He sighed at the small blue and yellow football at his feet. When he looked back, the expression on the kid's face reminded him of a dog after dropping a ball at your feet for the 10th time. "You probably don't want to play with me, but I sure wish you would." Matt lowered his head for a second, debating whether to applaud the boy's tactics or scream in frustration. What he wouldn't give to be a kid again with kid worries, to want nothing more in life than someone to play with. Matt picked up the ball with every intention of walking away and tossed it underhand to the boy. It sailed right through the kid's outstretched hands, bounced off his bony chest, and back toward Matt. Butterfingers. He shook his head, hating himself for thinking it, but he'd grown up with 5 brothers. He didn't drop a ball without hearing a jab. The kid ran over to retrieve his football and stopped short. He glanced over his shoulder and waved at a woman sitting in the sand with 3 other children. "That's my mom." Matt couldn't see her face, but she raised a hand at her son, clearly keeping an eye on the situation. Matt waved back. The boy took a step closer to Matt, stared at his toes, and dug them into the sand. "I can't catch," he mumbled. Based on that one throw, the kid was right, but Matt wasn't going to say so. "You'll get it. You just need to practice. Maybe your dad could throw with you or something." "Nope, he can't throw. He's dead." The kid dropped that bit of info like he was talking about the color of the sky. Matt's gut twisted. Another person dead. He ran his fingers through his hair, pulling at the ends in frustration. And he'd been jealous of this kid. He closed his eyes for a second and rubbed at the headache hovering behind his right eye, the one that had been gathering strength all morning. He didn't have anywhere else to be, and he sure as hell wasn't in a hurry to get back to playing cabana boy. "I'll throw with you," Matt said, taking 5 steps back and motioning with his fingers, ready for the ball. The kid gave him a million-watt smile and wound up for his throw. The ball wobbled and sailed straight into the ocean. Nailing Matt in the back had obviously been a fluke. The kid wasn't any better at throwing than he was at catching, though what he lacked in skill, he made up for in enthusiasm. After his 10th trip fishing the ball out of the surf, Matt turned and came face to face with the kid's mother. And what a face it was. Smooth, flawless complexion, delicate features. She was small compared to the 5'10" Kimmy. The top of her head barely reached his shoulders. Dark hair hung in a simple ponytail, a few strands blowing softly around her striking face. "Hey, Jack." She laid a gentle hand on the boy's head. "Why don't you go play with Annie?" "But, Mom, we're practicing." "Jack!" yelled a little girl with long brown braids. "Charlie's tearing down your castle!" She watched her son run off to rescue his creation. Matt hadn't noticed it at first, but when she turned, the black tank top she wore with black bikini bottoms stretched over her belly, beautiful and pregnant. He forced his attention to the kids. Jack and a smaller boy knelt, throwing sand out behind them like dogs digging a hole. Nice kid. "Thanks." She flashed him a sweet smile